Greetings, Earthlings. This is spiritual alchemist Felicia S.C. Gooden here in Stone Mountain Park. That's the mountain over there. You guys can see it there well. Ah, there it is. Behind the trees. This week's video, Mastering Polarity, I decided that maybe it would be nice to let you guys see the world the same way I do. Peace and quiet, serenity. If you look down here in the water, you might see some little fish, little baby fish. Let's see if we can get a shot. No, don't run away. I don't know. We'll try to get a shot. This week I want to talk about unknowing and knowing. Ignorance and knowledge. Truth and error. See, little fishy? There they are. The journey of not knowing thyself, then knowing thyself. It's a thing that Rosicrucians like to say, that above the portal of the temple of Apollo at Delphi in ancient Greece was inscribed the injunction, know thyself. And that is ever the purpose of each Rosicrucian student. And I think that's really the purpose of all students of this university of life that we experience here on earth. The journey of becoming, the journey of knowing thyself, going from experiencing life in the image of what the world says you should be, to experiencing life in the true essence of who you are. But who are we? Or maybe the question is what? What are we? On the spiritual path, and many spiritual teachers, we love talking about how we're just made up of stardust. And we are. That's the essence of our physical makeup. And the base elements, how they come together and drive themselves apart to make manifest. But when we have this experience of consciousness, there's far more to the story. From the planetary influences surrounding our birth dates, our moments of birth, to the genetic makeup that manifests in our DNA through our parents and their parents and the parents before them. Personality traits we pick up from our parents. Things we learn from our surroundings, our environment. They all contribute to who we really are. And one thing I find kind of problematic with, this journey from going to the pole of unknowing and ignorance of the self to knowing enlightenment of the true self, is that we get too caught up in the ideal of what we think we should become and who we should be. And that proves troublesome for truly achieving the goal of knowing and being who we really are. We are so focused on the virtues, the things that about the people that make us feel good about them and sometimes even ourselves. But knowing thyself isn't necessarily about our ideal version of who we think we should be. That's the whole deal with exploring the shadow self. The things about us that we don't necessarily like, and honestly the reason we don't necessarily like it is because we've dealt with so many other people who don't like it. And we can't really base who we are to become on the perspectives of what others do and don't like. Contrary to popular belief and what makes people famous, it's not about what people want you to be. It's about being who you are. But you cannot be thyself until you know thyself. And so many of us are trapped in this whirl of ignorance because we're so busy trying to please other people. Please our parents, please our employers, please our agents and our managers, please our directors on the set. So busy trying to please everybody else, pleasing the customer, pleasing the pastor, pleasing the congregation. I'm a minister, and my ministry is realism and authenticity on the journey of knowing and being thyself. I don't want to be a false image of perfection. I want to be an image of truth and realism and knowing and being thyself. And the true self of who we really are often proves to be quite different from what we think we should be. Back to the point of exploring the shadow self. For me, I explore my quote-unquote bad attitude, my tendency to be a bit vulgar in language. And when I explore and spend time with my family or explore my own historical family history, I find I get it honestly. I come from people who don't take well to bullshit, and they will tell you the truth. And sometimes it won't come out as nice. No, we like to say, well, you should be nicer, you should be politically correct, you shouldn't cuss. Well, who really programmed you, me, or anyone else to believe that bitch is a bad word? It means female dog. A bitch is a female dog. Is that really a bad word? It's just a word. Now, it might not be nice to sum up someone else's being as being a female dog, but life also isn't always nice. So why should we expect people to always be nice? What is nice? There are other things about ourselves, we have peers in humanity that sexually promiscuous, sexually open. And yeah, we like to perceive them as whores. But maybe that's just because we don't take too kindly to our own sexual nature. We're ashamed of it. I've had my time being promiscuous. I was actually kind of young. Still young. I'm only 26. I'll be 27 this weekend. And that life doesn't really work for me. The mindset that I was in at that time of not knowing myself and trying to figure out who I am That mindset wasn't one of being sacred and holy, but that is just for me and my experience and my perspective. And as I walked my path of knowing myself, I found that maybe that being too sexually open isn't really what I want. I was always truly at heart a conservative person. I didn't even want to be intimate with someone sexually unless I was in a relationship. So of course, on the path of growing and becoming and seeing if that's really the right or wrong thing, whatever right or wrong is, I end up finding myself back where I was in the first place. Of knowing that I want something sacred and meaningful to me. Does that mean I should judge and condemn someone that wants to be more open? No. That's them. That's the other person's choice. That's your prerogative. And it's not my place or another person's place to sit there and say, tell a person, you're wrong, you're horrible. That person is walking their path and on their journey. And that male or that female may find in time that maybe that he or she is not truly promiscuous and the open person that they thought they were. But we have to go through these experiences of light and dark and up and down to really explore who we truly are and figure out who we truly are and know who we are. Know thyself. A world full of ignorance and people so afraid of who they truly are that they try to tell everyone else how to be. Is that right? What is right? I don't know. Honestly, the world is somewhat perfect as the way it is because we are all on this path of growth and knowing and learning, becoming, being. What is right and wrong? It's what we choose it to be. I don't know if you can hear these people, but these people, like, when they ride their bikes through here, they love having conversations and they are so loud. But you know, they're going through their process too of knowing and becoming, knowing themselves, conversing with one another, exploring thoughts and emotions of the day. Know thyself. How can we truly know ourselves? That is the question. And in my journey, I find that we get to a point where we sit back and reflect. You know, we like to say hindsight is 20/20, and sometimes we just have to sit there and just reflect on everything that we've done, everything that we've been through, who we used to be, who we have become, and how we made the transition, how we transmuted that energy, whether we were consciously aware of it or not, how we made that change from being drunk and high all the time. I spent a few years being the person that always didn't know how to buy a small bottle of vodka, and that's if I knew how to not even buy vodka. The only way I didn't know how to buy vodka is if I didn't have the money for it, and sometimes I still found $6-7 to get that Mr. Barton's or what Mr. Boston or Barton's Russian vodka. It's cheap. I like vodka. And get high. I'd smoke like a pack of Newport 100s a day. Shit, I was good. I was fucked up. But now I've been cleansing and purifying myself, and it actually took a potential health concern that made me quit smoking cold turkey. Quickly, seemingly wore out my liver, and I couldn't hold my liquor anymore. I always get nauseous. I'm not the person that gets like headache, hangovers. I get nauseous all the time. I be throwing up everywhere, and I don't like feeling nauseous, so I don't drink that much. Doesn't mean I don't drink at all. I still enjoy my wine, but I don't go out of my way to just be a drunk. I don't go out of my way to make sure I have money for cigarettes. I do have my bouts when I would like some marijuana, but that's an herb. It's not that bad. Don't judge me. But I know myself. I know that there's more to life and my journey than being drunk and high all the time. I know that there's more to life and love than just seeing things from my perspective. And yet and still all is perspective. But how, again, we get to this question, how can we really know ourselves? Some Rosicrucians like to say, to know thyself, one must listen to the master within. For this is the only way to achieve self-mastery. That master within is your higher self, your conscience, that little voice inside that tells you what's really right for you. That little voice inside that says, you really don't want that drink. You really don't want that cigarette. You really don't want to get involved with that person. You really don't want to go out and to the club and get completely shit-faced and sleep with the first person you see. That's not really what you want. That little voice inside that says, no. That little voice that we love to ignore day in and day out all the time because our conscious mind says, well, it looks good and it feels good, do it. But your master within is like, you don't want that, what are you doing? And then you do it anyway, and then you're all sad and depressed and all this other stuff, and you don't know what's going on, and you don't know how to fix your life, and it's because you don't know who you are. Too afraid to know who you are. Too afraid to face yourself. Too afraid to go within and face that shadow self. What got you to the point of despair? Some say ignorance is bliss. Only for a short period of time. Only while it feels good. We must understand that no matter where we are on our journey of becoming, from ignorance to knowledge, from unknowing to knowing, not only are we on our individual journey, but everyone around us is on his or her journey as well. And it's not solely about our perspective. It's not solely about what we want people to be. And even just this past Sunday in church, I spent time being agnostic, and now I attend a Methodist church. I mean, come on. We all grow and find ourselves. And just this past Sunday at church, Pastor made the statement, opened up her sermon, pointing out that we are all, including her assistant pastor and herself, we are all sinners. We are all growing, and the sermon was about, I can't remember which scripture it was. It was in Romans, and it was Paul speaking about, should we sin to keep on sinning, because God will keep on forgiving. And she says, we're all sinners. We all can improve. We all can do better. We all can come out of the ignorance of not knowing who we truly are. We can all come into that space of knowing, that space of sacredness, of being one with ourselves and the one true God, and understanding the beauty and the purity of the essence of all things in nature and the universe. We need to stop. A friend of mine, I was talking to her yesterday on the phone, and she was saying, don't put anybody on a pedestal. And that's something we need to stop doing. Stop putting people on these pedestals because you want them to exude what you wish you were. Work on yourself. Become the best you can be. Know thyself. Know who you truly are. And be that. There's a girl I follow on Facebook that, she, Karis Melina Brown. I love her work. She's absolutely amazing. Great girl. Does great work. KarisMelina.com, I think her website is. Real spiritual, really into her awakening and knowing self and ascension and consciousness expansion journey. And she shares that with the world. And she made a post the other day saying, hey, I'm a food snob. I know it. I admit it. I rock it. Hey, she knows herself. Don't be ashamed of who you are. Be who you are, but be the best you can be. And don't put anybody else on the pedestal because you want them to be who you wish you were. If it's about who you wish you were, then work on yourself and become who you want to be. But still remember that you can't get rid of who you are. It's about being the best you. It's about being an honest you. If you're a fighter and you like to fight, do boxing or martial arts or mixed martial arts. Channel that energy of who you are into something productive. If you're a person that likes to make people laugh and talk shit, be a comedian. Channel your energy of who you are into something productive. If you like to defend and fight for the rights of the people, be an activist. Be a lawyer. Be a politician. And set the trend of being an honest one. Channel that energy of who you really are into something productive and positive. Sometimes the things that people don't like about us are the things that make us shine. The things that we seem to not like about ourselves. Hey, if you are a person who is into sexual art, eroticism, be an erotic artist, photographer, painter, portraits. Oh, hey, dragonflies. Y'all getting it, hey? Playing tag out here. But, oh, what was the other thing I was going to say? about erotic art. There's something else you could do. I was gonna say it, and it wasn't necessarily a porn star. Do you guys see the dragonfly? It's like transformation. Know thyself. Okay? Dragonflies are speaking to us today. Channel that energy of your shadow into something productive. If you're into sex and you think that's part of your spiritual transformation, like this dragonfly is insisting on making itself seen and known. I gotta think about insects and stuff. It's creeping me out. Fuck off. Become a tantric master. Channel that energy into something productive and useful for the people. Ooh, excuse me. Watch my hand. My bad. Your fault. Know thyself and be thyself. And be the best you that you can be. Don't be afraid of who you are, and stop trying to figure out who you should be according to someone else's preference. Okay, dragonfly. Do you see it? I don't know. They're playing tag right now. They're getting it. It's all about transformation, transmutation. Dragonfly symbolizes growth and transformation. And the Lord is speaking to us right now. The nature, the cosmic is making manifest. Transmute that energy. Know thyself and be thyself. Alright, dragonfly. I'm trying to work here. Trying to speak life into the people. It's getting it. Alright, dang. I have... That's how the universe works, man. You attract what you are. I'm attracting transformation. And I don't do well with insects and stuff. But know thyself. Don't reside in ignorance and fear. Be confident and be true. Know who you are and be that. Become. The point of knowing thyself is so you can go forth on to be. To be thyself. And as far as knowing and unknowing the mysteries of the universe, just look up. Look up. Look around. The answers are all around you. In nature. Look up and around. That's how the shamans of old did it. That's how my ancestors do it. I'm of Native American descent, amongst other things. Look up and around. Experiment. Pick up a rock. Throw it into the water. Observe the ripples. The difference between a splash and a sploosh. The answers are all around us. We just have to allow ourselves to see them. Be one with them. Know thyself, and ye shall know the God in the universe. It's more than knowing that we are stardust. It's understanding your genetic makeup, personality traits you pick up on, where you got it from, how you got it. Why did it resonate with you to the point where you incorporated it into the manifestation of your being? Observe people as they walk through the park. Attune. What is this guy thinking? Hi. Be one with the journey. Be one with the tourism in your beloved sacred space of a park that you go to. Explore, meditate, contemplate, and let nature speak to you. All is about transmutation, going from darkness to light, from not understanding who you are and the essence of your journey and why it manifests the way it does, to understanding why it did. Taking that time out to reflect on the past, how it made you who you are today, what role every person in your life played. Also explore your childhood, for there you are. If anyone that's unsure of their career path, you'll often find what you were meant to do and the things you liked to do as a child. I like to write on things and draw on things. I ended up being a writer and an artist. I've been embracing this tradition of seeing a movie for my birthday every year since I was 6 years old. It'll be 21 years this year. And I ended up studying digital filmmaking, video production, and here I am making videos for you all today. Know thyself and be thyself. Don't be afraid to climb that mountain, because reaching the top is always glorious. Explore, know, and be. And until next time, my beloveds, master those poles. Master that law of polarity. Understand that for every one there is another. For every good there is a bad. For every love there is a hate. All is in divine order. Do you see the people across the way? They're walking their dog on their own journey through nature, having conversation, exploring and knowing themselves. Stop worrying about the ideal that we desire, because the opposite will always continue to manifest. That is the law of polarity itself, the law of opposites. For every left there will always be a right. So just know thyself and be the best you that you can be. Talk to you guys later.